the real weakness of my fishing has been, you know, being able to fish when I can't see. Okay, I'm finished. If it's as easy as you say, that's all I have to do. You do what I learned how to do that day. I believe you're gonna catch some bonefish. Somebody's messing with it. Looks like something non-bonefish-like, but there he goes.
Until he starts screaming drag like that. That's a bonefish.
Yes, look at that guy.
That is a shark.
That's the biggest fish I've ever caught.
I thought you said you had
Okay, relax.
Oh my God!
Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Tom Rowland and Captain Rich Tudor.
Let's head out front here. We might
We got a lot of little bonefish rods here.
Yeah, let's go.
Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah, we'll give it a whirl. I mean, the conditions aren't awesome right now as far as seeing them with the clouds and the wind, but
Well, I'll tell you what, man. If I can't see them, I'm not very good at catching them. So you're gonna have to teach me a thing or two about catching them when you can't see them. And I know that guys up in Islamorada, that's when they do the very best. It's when they catch the biggest, the most. But I've struck out time and time again and just really just don't have any idea what to do. So,
well, it's definitely at this point in the day, it's the right conditions to not see them. It's overcast, windy. We won't really, I mean, if we try to sight fish, it'd be a struggle. So I got a couple spots I've had good luck with right out here in front of the resort, and where, I mean, I've caught good numbers of fish. And we'll just go out there, give it a little while. Good chance for us to relax a little, drink a cup of coffee, and catch a couple bonefish. And maybe we can sight fish a little later if that sun comes out.
okay, sounds fun.
Who knows what we'll get into.
And I'll tell you, I needed to learn that because I didn't know anything about it, and I certainly didn't have any confidence in it. And to go out there and, you know, it's one thing to, even somebody could just tell you exactly what to do. But you know what always happened to me is
You didn't catch anything right away.
I don't catch anything right away. Time to move, right? And then, on top of that, the sun comes out for a second, and I say,
Yep.
well, I'll just go back to doing what I have always done. But, you know, when I need it, I didn't know how to do it.
Yep. Well, just on an everyday basis. I mean, it's not always calm enough to see them tail. The tide's not always right, and especially this time of year in the fall, a lot of high water. You know, and so we won't have that tailing water.
Right.
And it might be like that 5 days in a row. So learning how to catch them without seeing them is something that I've kind of been forced to do. But I've gotten a little better at it, and I've gotten to where I'm confident on certain tides and certain spots. I know if I get out there, we can catch them. All right, we're gonna get ready to anchor right up here. What we don't want to do is we don't want to go past that white bar. That's where the fish run on the other side of that little
I can see that.
brown bar. You know, a lot of these spots I learned from seeing the fish there once when the weather was really nice, and then memorizing that, and then going back to that same exact spot when the weather's bad, putting the power pole down or putting the anchor out and going. That's what we did. You know, we just went out there, you know, just basically idled out from the dock. Didn't even have to go anywhere. Right. I mean, that's one of the best bonefish flats around right there. And you saw, I mean, I knew exactly where I wanted to be, not just, you know, this area. I mean, there was a specific rim that we were fishing. We went, dropped that anchor, got the boat in position, and, you know, it was like cast a bait there and there.
All right, this is just the right spot too. See if we can cast a bait just over there and just over there.
Right.
It doesn't take a lot. We didn't have to chum. I don't even like to chum. I find, and this is certainly what some of the other guys have told me, is if you chum, you attract a lot of the little needlefish and pinfish and other things that'll eat your bait, and you end up catching all those. I just take one shrimp basically, break them into pieces, put them on there, and that's all we did. We threw it out there, one here, one there, put the rod in the rod holder, you know, hold on to it, and wait.
We're gonna put it back in that white hole.
Let's put one right there, just on the edge of that. Perfect.
One.
And I'll put one right over here, and somewhere in here, hopefully we'll catch some.
Okay. I'm finished. If it's as easy as you say, that's all I have to do.
It's not always that easy, that's for sure, but the conditions are pretty good. I feel pretty confident about getting one.
We did it!
I told you. And I'm gonna throw it right over there and get a double too.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Hawks Cay Resort Marina and Villas. Surround yourself with what matters most. By Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. By Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. By Motor Guide, never stop. By Mercury, #1 on the water. And by Under Armour, Navionics, Loadmaster, and Toyota.
But you know, the real key is just going to an area where, you know, a lane that you know those bonefish are going to come through, you know, 10, 20, 30 feet wide. That lane, you know, within, you're there showing up, expecting to see the fish in that spot. Well, you go on this exact same tides, except it's cloudy and it's windy and you're not going to see them. When you get to your spot, you know, stop and just throw out, you know, with a little, you know, so using that current or wind to help you, right in that lane where you expect to see them.
Well, you know, the funny thing about it is looking back on that, I never learned how to do it. I think because I was chumming far too heavily. I was chopping up, you know, 8, 10 dozen shrimp, and you know, it was just unnecessary. And what I did is I brought in, just like you say, all the pinfish, all the bonnet sharks, and the bonefish may have been out there, but you know, there's 50 pinfish zipping through there like this. A bonefish doesn't have a chance to get it because it's not that aggressive. What you want, as I see now, is you want a tiny bit of scent out there, and you want the fish with the best nose to find it. And you know, I always heard that if you put a few shrimp out there, they would beat a path to your door. And that's exactly what happened. There it is. Here's a bite. Oh, come on, take it. Take it all the way. Somebody's messing with it. I'm gonna let him take it. That looks like something non-bonefish-like, but there he goes.
Until he starts screaming drag like that. That's a bonefish.
Feels like a bonefish.
Yeah, try to work him to the right if you can. Yeah!
We did it!
I told you. I'm gonna throw it right over there and get a double too. Work him to the right. Wow! Way high, way high, way high. That's a big one. And he will break you off on that stuff.
There he is.
Keep them high because there's so much stuff over there. A lot of corals. Lost a lot of fish right there.
There are some very, very big bonefish in this area. I used to go, wow, there he goes. I used to go all the way from Key West during the Slam, many times during that tournament down there in Key West. We'd run all the way up here to fish, lots of times.
You know, being able to do that on a windy day, close, and then, I mean, bonefish, when you talk about a fish that fights, I mean, there is nothing that's pound for pound, in my opinion, stronger than a bonefish.
Right.
I mean, we were catching them on 10-pound braid, and it was all you can do. When I remember that first one you hooked up, you know, I mean, you know, when that line started zipping, I mean, there's no question when it's a bonefish. That fish was running. I was telling you how high you had to hold that rod because that area that we were fishing has a lot of little pieces of coral and stuff, and they will run you out there and break you off. So, you know, keeping that high tension. I mean, it's a really, you know, exciting fight, just fighting those fish.
Exactly. Yeah, this one
I'm
has
telling
some
you,
shoulders.
he'll break you off too.
Oh.
He's getting on some stuff. You better get him up. Better get him up. I can chase him if you need me to.
No, don't need to chase him. He'll be just fine. He didn't feel that big at first, but
he's big now.
A couple of runs later.
All right, he's coming now.
You haven't gotten one yet?
I stopped fishing because I was trying to
do that for?
watch yours. Yeah, I shouldn't do that.
I don't need any help.
You would never stop fishing for me. That's for sure.
What I know from looking at the scoreboard in these tournaments and knowing these guides that specialize in this and knowing what they catch and seeing the pictures of what they catch, this is not a little fish technique. I was surprised that we caught little fish because I was kind of expecting, well, if this works, you know, it wouldn't surprise me, you know, to hit a 12-pounder. Wouldn't surprise me.
That's a heavy one. And pound for pound, man, there is nothing stronger.
They are an athlete, man. That is an athlete right there. I love it. I love it.
So how do you like?
I love it.
blind fishing for bonefish
Love
so far?
it.
Circle hook right in the corner?
So far, it's great, man.
That's pretty cool,
Hold these
isn't it?
things right upside down like that, and they just paralyze.
That's a good trip.
And then when I turn him over, he's gonna be non-paralyzed. Love it.
It's a solid fish.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow, look at that. That is cool. Now, you know, that sense of smell is just so awesome. I mean, that's what I think they're really doing there. It's great. Yeah, man.
Oh, 1-0.
Yeah.
I win.
No, man, I got the yellowtail, see? That's cool. Very nice. All right.
Very good. So
All right,
all those years of me poling into a northeast wind
with no light,
just to show up at the dock with 0 and see that you and everybody else caught 10. This is what you were doing.
Well, for an hour in the morning, yeah. I mean, like you say, see that light coming out now. I mean, if it stays cloudy and windy and we can't see, we'll do this all day. If we get the light and we can see, you know, just whatever the best probabilities are.
Everything in flats fishing has gotten better since I started guiding. Boats and motors, rods and reels, and even clothing. We understand the importance of covering up now more than ever. Skin cancer is at its highest rate ever, and if you're a professional guide working in the tropics, it is so important that you cover up and wear the proper sunscreen. I've been wearing clothes from Under Armour for years to protect myself because they're really comfortable, and the synthetic fabric is also far better than cotton. Cotton only has a sun protection rating of about 8, where any synthetic is going to be 30 or higher. Now, one of the most exciting products that I've seen this year is the Under Armour shirts that came out specifically for fishing. These are going to have a great fit and also very, very light fabrics, and you're not going to be impeded by any motion from casting or from poling. Now, a look that a lot of the guides have taken up in the Florida Keys might seem extreme to some that haven't been in this tropical sun as much as others, but the full face mask, this is called a buff, and the buff face mask, bring it all the way up underneath your sunglasses, polarized sunglasses, and pull down a hat. This covers you from top to bottom, even the back of your neck. This synthetic fabric has a sun protection of over 30, and it will protect you better than sunscreen that you might sweat off or accidentally wipe off through the day. You can go one step further, wear sun gloves that'll cover you all the way down to the tips of your fingers. One thing is for sure, the more you cover up in a day of flats fishing, the more you can concentrate, the better day of fishing you'll have. Check out the new Under Armour clothes, the buffs, wear your sunglasses and pull down your hat. Get out there and have a great day fishing.
Zane Grey was born in 1875. He had quite an interesting life. He did well in writing. He did so much of it, got paid for it, that he bought 1,000 acres on the Delaware River, and he had quite an estate there. He did most of his writing on the Delaware River, but he did write The Light of the Western Stars on Long Key, 1924, I believe it was. But it was a real popular book. And he definitely was a pioneer in big game fishing. Most of his writing was about fish and the environment. He wrote many articles for Outdoor American. He traveled all over the world, but what made him outstanding was catching the big fish that he did and the unusual ones, and with the tackle that he had. But anything new that came out, he wanted to look at it and try it, and he did and was very successful. He and another dentist friend of his, while fishing on Long Key, caught the first recorded permit, and up to that time, it was considered a worthless fish and not a sport fish at all. But he wrote about it, and everything that he wrote, and all the little things for magazines and all of that yet. And it developed into a rare fish, and one that everybody was looking for. So he was responsible for that in most ways. One of his things that he wanted to do most was to save a little of America, he said. And what he meant by that was the fish, the streams, the creeks, the rivers, and he was quite accomplished in doing that.
Just like if you were sight fishing, you'd go to one spot and you'd fish it. And if you poled through that area and didn't see a fish, you're going to move to your next one. You're going to spend probably 20, 30 minutes, depending on how big the spot is. Move to your next one. And if you hit it right sight fishing, you might see a school after school coming through.
Right.
And the same things happen when you're blind fishing. You hit it right, you throw it out there, and like we did, 2 minutes later, zzz, guess what? We hit it. Now we might have been at the tail end of that, and maybe it's over. But we fished for a while, and it was a flurry. It was just like that. I'm sure there was waves of fish coming through.
Right.
There he is.
Go. That's a nice one.
That's a bone. That's definitely a bone. See how I changed that direction a little bit?
Tell you what, for whatever reason, all the bites are coming a little bit to the right of the boat like that.
Yeah.
Wow, no wonder I wasn't getting a bite.
It helps to have bait on there, huh?
It does.
It's a nice fish, whatever it is. Here, I'll just let you slide over. Throw it right back over there where I was on that edge.
That helped me a lot to kind of try to understand this from a sight fisherman's perspective, but there are some subtleties. How long would you stay there? How many rods would you have out? How do you set the hook on one of these things? It was very, very educational to me, and something that I've been really long overdue on learning that. But whether it's a tournament or whether it's just fishing with my kids, that technique is very, very important and very, very good.
Amazing how strong these fish are pound for pound.
They're athletic, man. Very cool.
Yeah, man.
Stop. I can just get a hold of his tail.
There you go. I like that reverse technique, upside down sleeping
They just sit
bonefish
there.
Huh.
And you can handle them without.
Now that's interesting. I've never
hurting
seen
them.
that. Where did you learn that technique? Here, I got pliers.
They've been eating well.
Very cool.
Whoa.
There you go.
Whoa. Man, they are slippery.
Slippery.
God. Okay already. I'm just trying to get you back in the water.
Good job, man.
Yeah, good job.
I think you need to work on the you're doing really good with the upside down technique. That's good.
There was sunscreen on my hands.
I need to, that actually works really good. But the problem is, you don't want to get your pictures taken with the bonefish upside down. So the problem is when you turn it over for the picture, then he jumps, right?
Just have it upside down. As soon as you turn him back over, it's trouble.
All right, now I want my little spot back.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. By Quantum, fishing at a quantum level. By Lowrance, we lead, we find, you win. By Guideline Sunglasses, optimum performance on and off the water. By the Florida Keys and Key West, come as you are. And by Under Armour, Navionics, Loadmaster, and Scott Fly Rods.
Knowing how to do that, I can get my 5-year-old daughter, Hannah, to catch bonefish. Young or old, experienced or not, you can go out there and catch a bonefish if you know how to do it this way. And, to an experienced sight fisherman, this may not be the most exciting way to catch a bonefish, but you know what? Not everybody is an experienced sight fisherman. A lot of people just, you know, they just want to, they've heard about a bonefish, they've heard it's one of the strongest fish in the ocean, they've heard it's one of the most challenging fish, whatever, they just want to catch one. And to be able to go out there and show somebody in a short period of time, this is a bonefish.
Yeah, you got him, you got him.
There he is. God, I had to reel so fast.
Yep.
Man, that was unbelievable.
Yep.
And this is a tiny one, but
yep.
man, that was fun, and still probably would be enough points in a tournament. I cannot tell you how astonished I am that this is working like this. It's just amazing.
Yep. Nice.
He is so hot. And it's hard for a lot of people to understand that haven't done much bone fishing, but this fish, you know, because he is so camouflaged and fairly small, this fish in 3 feet of water, there's no possible way you're going to see him.
You got to be really shallow and pure white bottom to even have a chance to see him.
Accommodations provided by Hawks Cay Resort Marina and Villas. Surround yourself with what matters most.